Hello and welcome to a new episode of Business Compass. Business Compass is a TV show that coaches, nurtures, and encourages our young business entrepreneurs and helps them to grow. Business Compass is proudly created and produced by Fiducia Services Limited with technical support from GHOne Tv. And you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Just search for Business Compass, subscribe, and follow us. And you can also reach us on 026-300-5055, or you can email our producer at thebeastcompass.com. And if you have any challenges, any business challenges, any questions you may have, we'd be very happy to take your questions or your challenges, and we'll send you answers. On today's show, we have a small business that is in the area of deliveries. As we all know, deliveries have become a big issue in Ghana and I think in most parts of Africa. And today we're going to go into the deliveries industry and find out exactly what is going on there. So it's my pleasure to welcome Ruth Essabakovi, who is the founder of Deliveries.com. Welcome, Ruth.
Thank you, Mom.
I think I'm used to calling you Essaba, so I'll just go with Essaba.
Yes, I love
So welcome to the show, and it's our pleasure to have you here.
Thank you, Mom.
And it's also my pleasure to have Mrs Mona Quartey, Managing Partner and Founding Director of BVM Advisory Services, and a former Deputy Minister for Finance in the Republic of Ghana. Welcome, Mona.
Thank you, Charlotte. It's good to be here.
Thank you for always making time for small business owners.
It's my pleasure.
And it's also my pleasure to have one of my big brothers, Mr. Kwame Jantuah. Kwame is a serial entrepreneur and he's an oil and gas policy consultant. Welcome, Kwame, to Business Compass.
Thank you. How are you?
I'm very well, very, very well. So before we get into today's discussion, we'll take a quick visit to Essaba's business and see exactly what is going on there. So join us.
My name is Ruth Essabakovi, and the name of my company is Deliveries.com, with the trade name Deliveries Ghana. So we've been doing this underground for a while. So last year, 2019, we decided to give it a shot. This idea came about when I got frustrated by one delivery company or one dispatch rider. It was somebody's anniversary, and then I made a frame for the person. This gentleman picks the package up, delivers it, and an unfortunate incident happens. He doesn't tell me. So I call him and I find out, has the package been delivered? He says yes. Okay. Then I called the recipient to find out whether she's received the package. And she said, yes, it's been received. She said for some reason, she just felt, okay, let me just open it and see what's in there. She opens it and the frame was destroyed. But I had to recall for the frame and actually do a new one within the shortest possible time. What makes it more challenging for this one is that there are times what the rider may be carrying is huge, and until he drops it off, there's no way he can move on to pick somebody else's package, thereby delaying the whole delivery process, and at the end, it's affecting the next pickup. Then another challenge is that clients sometimes wouldn't give you the correct location where they are located. Somebody will say, I'm at Dansuman. Dansuman where? Dansuman exhibition. Okay. He directs the rider there. He gets there and he's like, oh, come forward small. Do you know last stop? Oh, you keep coming. Come to last stop. He gets to last stop. Oh, do you know Ebenezer down? Come forward small. Branch, take left, take right, take. And that's a huge problem on us. If the rider had known that I'm going to Ebenezer down, he plans his route, takes off, and moves. We need support in marketing. Marketing will help us a lot because it's been there, and right now, people get to know about it, when they are in dire need of the service. Though we don't intend to rush in making the whole world know about it. A soft marketing that will make the system grow gradually and naturally to make it perfect. A help with us putting a few structures in place. I hope that they help us on this journey. They help us grow in any way. I've mentioned marketing, but they have the eye to see other areas that we will need support and help. So we'll be glad if all those areas are mentioned and then help is given, all in a quest for us to grow.
Welcome back. We've been to deliveries.com, or Deliveries Ghana as you want to call it. Yes. And it's a very interesting business.
It is.
I think two things we'll need clarity on. One is, what is the business model? Because I found it a bit confusing. Do you own the motorbikes? Where do you get the riders from? What is your business model? Okay. And then we'd also go into the why you started this.
Okay. So the model runs like the way Uber works. Uber operates.
Okay.
So I have a platform where delivery service companies are enlisted on. And then with the help of a short code, if a client needs the service, the client uses the short code to place a request. Then the closest and free rider picks up the request. Okay. And serves the client.
Okay. So who is your customer? Is it the person receiving the package or the delivery company you're dealing with?
All of them are our clients. The delivery company, we are acting as a mediator between the delivery company and the client receiving the package.
So is she a B2B or a B2C?
She's actually a sort of an aggregator of the service,
okay,
using others, and she's also a collaborator in a way, because she's part of the value chain, as it were.
I know, but it's a complex.
Yes, she's trying to fit herself into someone who needs something delivered to them and someone who actually makes the delivery. And she's put herself in using technology to pick up the business. She's a middle woman, basically.
So the riders are not your employees?
No.
Okay, so what do your employees do?
My employees, some are field workers.
What do they do on the field?
On the field, they go out asking for challenges that clients face, people's delivery needs, and how we can fit ourselves.
You have people employed full-time to do that?
Yes, please.
How many?
Currently, there are 4.
Wow. And then what do the others do?
The others are IT support staff.
So you have 4 basically doing marketing research?
Yes, please.
And then 4 IT support?
Yes.
Okay. So what was your purpose for starting this? We've heard about the challenge you wanted to address.
Yes.
But was it as a social good or to make money?
First of all, it's not... Okay, money is part of it.
So it's a business for profit?
Yes, please.
I just needed to get that clear, because you do so many things, I'm getting... Okay.
It's a business for profit.
Okay.
Yes, first of all. And then secondly, I noticed that most e-commerce businesses are not growing because they have a major challenge with delivery.
So you see yourself as an e-commerce business?
Yes.
Okay, and you say you're not growing because?
They are not growing because of the challenge they have with deliveries. Most e-commerce businesses...
Okay, so your target market really is e-commerce businesses?
Yes,
okay.
please.
You are not, but you're also an e-commerce business?
I am.
Okay, all right. Okay, you mentioned some operational challenges that you had. I think my panel has seen financial and management challenges, probably strategy, and quite a few legal challenges I see. I don't even know where to start. Where should we start from?
I think we need some clarity, so we'll start from asking questions.
Okay,
And
sure.
I'd like to just start by asking some questions in the financial area, and come back to quality control, which is the output.
I would prefer we
the
take
output.
quality control under strategy.
Okay, so we'll come back to that under strategy. So you did just say that you actually don't own any motorcycles.
Yes.
However, when we look in your financials and we look at your property, plant and equipment, we see a line for motorbikes.
Okay.
Where you spent about 50,000 cedis on motorbikes.
Yes.
Of course, office equipment, we understand, computer wear because your
That's
business
the
is
core,
e-commerce.
Yes.
But what are these motorbikes used for? You talked about field offices. Are these motorbikes used for delivery or for doing the field work, that
The market research.
the research that you told us about?
So what the bikes that are on our platform, basically there are two forms of people on the platform. The delivery companies who have signed on to receive delivery requests from us. And then the second bit are the people who own the delivery service but have grown to a point where now they give us their bikes to manage fully for them.
But that should not be under your assets.
It's not your asset. I mean, I see assets here of motorbikes for 50,000. Do you own motorbikes?
No, we don't own motorbikes.
So why do you have
they
it
are just
in
buffer
here?
bikes.
Do you own them?
No.
So
You're managing people's bikes.
Yes.
Okay, so it shouldn't be in your assets. Okay, so that's one of the corrections that need to come up. Then in terms of revenue, you talk about commissions and delivery fees also. What is that, commissions?
Okay, so anybody that finds himself on our platform, for every job we give you, you are expected to give us something back as commission or
That's
a charge
the delivery
for,
company.
Yes, please.
Okay.
A charge for whatever job.
So how much do they pay you per drop-off, roughly?
3 cities.
Okay, so you make a commission
Of
on
3 cities.
independent motorbike people who do deliveries for
Yes,
you.
please.
And the commission, sorry, that's the commission.
Yes.
And then what was the other revenue that you make? You
Okay,
told us
so
of two.
Yes, the other one is for, the other revenue comes from the bikes, the buffer bikes on the system.
Okay,
The
then
ones you are managing on behalf of
Yes,
the owners.
please.
yeah. The other comes from the buffer bikes, which
Yes.
are owned by other people.
Other people.
What is that revenue?
Okay, so
Because it sounds like commission again. You don't own the asset.
no, we don't own that.
So it sounds like commission
It's like
again.
a,
What
you get a
exactly
portion
is
of the
it?
proceeds that the asset generates.
Yes.
Okay, so you have it broken down into commission,
Yes.
and the other one is deliveries.
Yes.
And the deliveries is the bigger number.
Yes, please.
And you are saying the deliveries is what you earn when you use the buffer cycles. These
Yes.
are cycles that you have rented
Yes.
to use. Understood. The other one, they do it. So the ones that you rent to use, do you hire drivers, motorcycle drivers to?
Yes, please.
So that's part of the 6 people. Who are those motorbike riders who ride the buffer bikes?
Those who ride the buffer bikes, we help the delivery companies to scout for those riders.
Okay.
So whose
And then-
employees are they? Still the employees of the delivery?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Only that we help manage them.
Okay, we need to take a break. And when we come back, I think it's a very complicated business model. We'll ask a few more questions before we start seeing how we can help Essaba address some of the challenges that she's having. We'll be right back. Welcome back, viewers, and thank you for staying with us. We're still here in the studios with Deliveries Ghana, and I'm here with Mona and Kwame. So, Kwame, you had a few questions for Essaba.
Yes. Okay. But I wanted to find out from you, have you been in business before?
Yes.
You have been in business before?
Yes, please.
Because I'm trying to, listening to Mona and Charlotte, I'm trying to ascertain your thinking of going into this business. Now, if you've been in business before, do you have a feasibility study of what you wanted to do with this business?
We did, or it's still ongoing.
The feasibility
study. Feasibility is the one you do before you start the business.
Okay, yes.
You did?
Yes, please.
And what are some of the things you got out of that feasibility? Because it's research into the business.
Yes.
What are some of the things you got in there?
Okay, so we noticed that small businesses were struggling with deliveries. And even if they got delivery companies to help them out, they always had a challenge of their packages being destroyed or delivered late. So
that's the problem you were trying to address.
Yes.
But what I think, so when you identify a challenge that you want your business to address, you also have to look at how feasible addressing that challenge is going to be. So did you look at the market? Did you look at what investment it would require for the intervention you were designing and how profitable that would be? Did you do all that?
Yes.
What profits did you see?
Okay, initially, this whole business, I think the profits will come in the future. It's a futuristic business in the sense that how the level at which we wanted to go, a lot of work would have to be done, especially using technology to achieve this.
We get that, but you're not addressing what he's asking you.
You are jumping the gun.
Yes.
You're jumping the gun. Charlotte, where I wanted to go to was that you did a feasibility.
Yes.
You identified certain things.
Yes.
But then you still went in to work in terms of hiring someone to do the job for you. Didn't you consider, looking at some of the things you realized, that it would be best for us to have our own delivery people?
No.
Because, correct me if I'm wrong, there was a reliability issue there.
Yes.
There was a safety issue there.
Yes.
There was a trust issue there.
Yes.
There was a theft issue there.
Yes.
Now, all this you found in your feasibility.
Yes.
So why did you decide to now go the way you went?
Okay, so initially, we bought just one bike just to test the idea. And within 2 weeks, we couldn't survive. So the questions we asked ourselves was, then we need to probe further.
Why couldn't you survive?
You couldn't survive.
We couldn't survive in the sense that we realized there was more to the nature.
Demand exceeded what you could.
No, not even demand. What made us collapse in the first place was that the first bike we bought, there was a challenge with even finding a rider who will ride the bike. And then secondly, we noticed that after even finding him, he wasn't consistent with the work. If you give him...
It's about, I'm trying to understand. So Uber buys a vehicle.
Yes.
Uber has a challenge getting a reliable driver to drive the vehicle. And yet Uber thinks that the way to go business-wise is to have a fleet of 50 vehicles belonging to others and manage it on their behalf.
No, Uber doesn't own vehicles.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I'm saying that from the feasibility studies we did, we wanted to really find out what the delivery companies go through. So we bought one bike.
That was the purpose of the feasibility?
Yes, just to test and find out how real it is. Remember, in my video, I said that my business started out of frustration. So I wanted to understand why what happened to me really happened. Give the rider all the benefit of the doubt and really get into understanding why what happened to me happened.
I think the problem we're having is that we do not see how your intervention, your business intervention, really addresses the challenges that you identified in the delivery business. From where I sit, maybe my co-panelists say differently. I actually think that it's actually an enhanced level of challenges that you're carrying on with more risk. Because now you're even dealing with riders who are not even your employees. So I'm not sure how it addresses the reliability and the safety and all the issues.
Before you come onto our platform, we don't just accept anybody that because you have a motorbike, come and sign up. No,
But you were still facing the problems of reliability, safety, trust, and all that.
Yes, that was at the initial stage.
So what are you saying now? That those things are now...
Yes, they're under control.
How many? I don't even know
how many service providers are on our platform.
Okay, how many service providers?
Okay, currently we have about 96.
Okay, that's a good number. And how many deliveries do you do per day?
Per day we can do about 60 to 100 deliveries.
Not what you can do. What do you do?
Okay, 80.
80 deliveries per day.
Yes.
So there's like excess capacity there that is not being used. In fact, a lot of excess capacity, because even if you do one delivery per service provider per day, you still have 16 that have no business.
Yes.
And that is assuming one drop-off, meaning there's a lot of capacity that is not being utilized. Okay.
No, but what happens is that in this model, though you have 96 people under your care, it doesn't mean that every day all of them are working. Somebody's rider can have an accident, and that reduces the number of bikes on the platform. Somebody's rider...
Making it better.
Mommy, I'll get there.
Okay.
Somebody's rider decides to do their own work. Anything happens. So that was when there was a need for the buffer bikes to come onto the platform, so that in cases where these things are very frequent, as I speak to you, there's a delivery company on our platform who have about 10 riders,
okay.
10 bikes with 10 riders. And yesterday, I called to find out whether they will be working. Surprisingly, all their riders were not picking their calls. So it means that if these 10 bikes are on
you have to call the riders, not the delivery company.
No,
because in your model, I'd rather be calling the delivery company for them to tell me.
No, we don't call the riders. We call the delivery companies to find out if they are working.
Okay.
Because we hadn't heard from them in the day, so we're just making a follow-up. And then the response we got from the owner was that none of their riders is picking their calls. They are nowhere to be found. So that means that already 10 riders are off for that day. And the others with their own challenges too. You can't say you have the 86 people on the platform. You are going to have all of them working conk.
Let me ask you a question. What's your break-even point?
Currently, we are not breaking even.
No, but that's not the question.
That's
the question
not the
is what is, so for instance, how many drop-offs do you have to do in a day, to say I'm breaking even?
Okay, let's say 50.
What would 50 earn you?
Yes.
50 will earn me
roughly
3 times 50. That's about
150 Ghana cedis.
Yes,
is your break-even point,
yes,
every day?
Yes.
What's your cost?
For that day?
Yes, for the day.
To be about 80 cedis.
That is off the top of her head. She hasn't worked it out.
I haven't worked it out, but that
I can tell.
If I put figures together.
She's just tossing it out. She hasn't.
Wow.
Okay. I think we see a lot of challenges.
A lot.
But the challenge for me is actually with the business model.
Yes.
I am not sure that you have a sustainable business model. I would defer to the finance person. I will defer to the operations person, but I'm just a lawyer, but I do not think that this business model is sustainable. My other sense is that you did not think this through. And honestly, for me, it may be helpful for you to go back to the stage Kwame was talking about and do a proper feasibility. But I think we should let's address some of the issues we see, legal issues, risk management, financial management, and then see if we can help you rewind a bit. But I think I have concern, and I don't like complicated business models. When it's so complex that you can't say it in a minute and everybody understands, I think for me that creates a challenge here. I don't know what you guys think.
Just what I realized from the conversation is that, Esaba, your marketing skills kicked in when you heard about being able to do some e-commerce, where other e-commerce businesses who need goods to be delivered, you could link them up to others who had the transport. So you were trying to be an intermediary in a logistics type company. Yes. And your marketing's flair kicked in. You were curious, and therefore you went into research mode. But you combined the research mode with trying to actually implement an idea. To be honest, you have not done a feasibility, because if you have, you would have told us today what the industry is like, because I don't think you are the first person doing this. You'd have told us what your benchmarks are, what kind of return
competition
on investment, and even spoken to us about what kind of investment you've made. So far, you've told us about investments into buffer bikes, which are for research. And I see that they are used every now and then as substitutes when you can't reach your actual supply of motorbike riders. So it's more about you walking in the dark, feeling to see what will happen. The idea is in your head, all right, but you're still feeling it out instead of coming out with a proper feasibility plan before even investing. And that's why I hear Charlotte say that perhaps you should go back to point one, where you are not delivering a service. Because when I hear Kwame talk about reliability and so forth, which were your own words being the reason why you went in, you have not cured those situations at all. In fact, you are even facing it now, and the stress of having to deliver into a contract that you really don't have control over the resources to do that.
Unfortunately, so please, we have to take a break.
Yeah.
We have to take a break, but when we come back, I think we would help Esaba figure out her why. When passion is the driver, I think most entrepreneurs forget that at the end of the day, that passion needs to be turned into profit. And really, that's why we're here. So we'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll see if this venture can be profitable or if she has to scratch and start all over again. Please stay with us. Welcome back, viewers, and thank you for staying tuned. We're still here with Deliveries Ghana, and we're still looking at the challenges that Ms. Esaba is facing in this business. Esaba, tell us, what is your vision for this company?
My vision is to become the #1 delivery service aggregator in Ghana and then in Africa at large.
Within what timeline?
I'm looking at the next 3 to 5 years.
This is what is called a big, hairy, audacious goal. Okay. Yeah. Mona and Kwame, you heard it. How are you going to help Esaba become the biggest delivery service aggregator in Ghana and Africa in the next 3 to 5 years? Which even shows me that you haven't thought through this vision, because you should have a specific timeline. So saying 3 to 5 years is very wishy-washy. It's either 3 years or it's 5 years. Let's be nice to you and say 5 years.
5 years.
Guys, is it possible? Well, what does she have to do to...
Well, let me look at your quest to go into Africa. You should always remember that what pertains here in Ghana will not pertain in Nigeria, will not pertain in Cameroon, will not pertain in Angola. So if that is your vision, then you've got a hard road in front of you, because you'd have to understand the mechanics and the systems of these different places.
Okay. So and you have to master Ghana properly before you can even step out.
This can be a good business. But
You think so?
But yes, it can be a good
Okay.
business. But you've got to go back to basics.
Okay.
And what do I mean by going back to basics? You've got to put a feasibility together that you yourself understand and helps you to understand the mechanics of the business. Your market accessibility and being able to target your market is key. And you've got to make sure you understand what your market is looking for. If you're an aggregator, what are others looking for? The fact that you say, oh, there's a huge market out there, does not help you to do what you want to do. Technology is very important in your kind of business, and you've got to get it down to a T. Whatever you have to do to be able to locate your riders, to make sure they're delivering on time, to make sure they know where they are, you've got to have that. In the UK, there's something called minicabs. They're taxis. The controller is in a room, but he knows or she knows exactly where her drivers are at any given time. So it is something you have to consider. You never said anything about competition. So it makes it sound as if you are the only aggregator in the whole of Ghana. I don't think that is possible. You've got to look at your competition and what your competition is doing.
And what they're charging.
And what they're charging. And I was coming to that. The investment that you're going to put in the company is key, because that investment would tell you what your expenditure is going to be, would tell you your break-even point, and you've got to get it right. And it's not, oh, I have small savings here, let me put it in. Then tomorrow you're taking it out to go and pay school fees, or you're taking it out to go and fix your car. Oh, I don't have money, then you take it out. You can't do that. You've got to really think about this business. Your break-even point is so important, and you can only get your break-even point from the kind of costs that you have and how you price the business that you're doing to be able to get the kind of profit margin you're looking for. But all in all, I think you've got to start from the basics. You've got the idea, but everything is scattered everywhere and it's not together. What you've got to do, you've got to get plasticine that would attract everything into one for you to be able to succeed. You're saying 5 years. If you do this thing well, you can do this in 3 years. If you do it well.
That's for Ghana.
That's for Ghana. I'm not talking about Africa. If you do it well, and even if you're going into Africa, you don't have to go there yourself. You need to make contacts out there and build the business out there whilst you're here.
Thank you, Kwame. Very well. I mean, that's a lot of guidance. All very valid, very relevant. Mona?
Yes, Charlotte, thank you. First of all, I think that your vision is misplaced, okay? And that is because, as Charlotte said, you went into this thing just on a flip about some idea that you got that you could do this. I mean, you even think that you can do deliveries by motorbike, cycles, vehicles, and towing trucks. You have a big idea, a big plan, and as Kwame has said, it is possible. You have not approached it the right way. You have mixed a pilot project with an actual project, and you did not lay out exactly how much you will spend. You've been spending as you go along, trying to create the vision you have in your mind. Therefore, at this point, you talk about things like Africa, very big ideas. You are actually speaking without having the resources, as if you were going into a proper logistics company, and you don't have the resources for that. You haven't even planned for that. You have the idea, but you don't have any plan on how to get to that goal. Okay, so at this point, I believe that from all that we've talked about, you are going to have to go back to the drawing board. And that's what Kwame said, back to basics. It's not even basics, but back to the drawing board and ask yourself, what exactly is my value proposition? And then the very other question is, what do I have? What do I have? And you know what you want to do to solve, but what do I have? And what kind of return do I want when I make that investment? Where does that investment go? Right now, you don't own any motorcycles, yet you are dreaming of vehicles and you're dreaming of towing trucks. Those are all possible streams of income, other lines of business under logistics, but you are not anywhere near that. You can get there, but you are not there yet. So you need to go back to the drawing table without encumbering yourself with pilot projects or experiments, which is basically what you've done now. You are just experimenting. So let's go back to the drawing board.
Sure.
Saba, I think I totally agree with what Mona said and what Kwame said earlier. Like my colleagues, I think for me, the challenge really comes back to your vision. I think that, one, you are not clear in the vision. And so even the goals you are setting under the vision have become very confused. So like Mona is saying, as a delivery service aggregator, do you have any business dreaming of owning tow trucks? You are now entering logistics. Do you want to be a delivery service provider, or do you want to be a delivery service aggregator? And that's where the confusion starts from, and you've not resolved it. And so this confusion, you've carried it also into the legal structuring of your business. You are a sole proprietor. This is a business with significant risk. Your own financials show that you've recognized those risks, and very wisely, you've taken insurance to cover it. So you have medical insurance on the riders.
Yes, please.
Do you have cover for accidents?
Yes.
You have cover for lost packages and all that? Exactly. So you are no longer an aggregator. You are now a delivery service provider, and you've recognized the risk. And so you've managed those risks with insurance. So again, the confusion is there. And if you've recognized that there are so many risks in this business, why are you a sole proprietor? Because one lawsuit that insurance does not cover wipes you out. You should be a limited liability company. And if you had gone the limited liability company route, you would have had at least another director. And I'm hoping that director would have pulled you back from the passion bit and a bit more into looking at the profit side, which would have also helped you design this business model in a way that makes it a bit more profitable. At this point, I only see passion, I don't see profit. And I think that your legal structure is wrong. You're carrying too many risks for no return. So you need to sit back and redraw the business plan. Give yourself a salary that recognizes the risk you are carrying, the time you are putting in, the investments you are putting in, a salary that makes you feel like getting up every morning to go and work for Deliveries Ghana. At this point, I'm not sure. There are also, and now because you are also confused as to whether you are a service aggregator or a delivery company, there are licenses you should be getting as a delivery company to operate legally that I'm not sure you have because you've seen yourself as a service aggregator. You have those licenses. Yes. So why are you calling yourself a service aggregator and wanting to be the biggest in Africa when in actual fact you are a deliveries company? And then if you had defined yourself as a deliveries company, we would have looked at your issues very differently and your business model very differently.
But Charlotte, it all depends on the kind of licenses she's talking about and the kind of licenses you're talking about. So they could be different.
Esaba has got me a bit exasperated. I think we need to go to Coach's Corner. I need the coach and she needs the coach as well. So let's go listen to the coach and then we come back.
Hello, welcome again to Coach's Corner on Business Compass. I am Coach Bell. Today's tip is on strategy. Every business, no matter the size, requires a solid strategy. A strategy helps you visualize your goals and control the proper execution of your plans. A strategy informs you of a higher purpose, the mission of your business. A well-thought-out strategy gives you a bird's-eye view of your business objectives and enables you to adapt to market changes and trends. A strategy keeps you up to date on how much money you have and how to distribute it properly. A business strategy allows you to develop the best possible return on your investments. A strategy helps you optimize your workforce and control your employees' workload. Finally, a strategy helps your employees understand how their performance is critical to achieving your business objectives. In simple terms, your strategy has to represent where your business wants to be in 3 to 5 years. It has to include the key purpose of your business, the desired final results, and how those results can be measured. Let's not forget that businesses are about relationships. The relationship between you and your customers, you and your workers, and you and your money. Let's keep it a healthy relationship. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. That was a very inspirational piece. Esaba, I hope you enjoyed what the coach had to say.
Yes.
And I hope you've gotten some value out of this. I think we've been a bit tough on you, but I also think we had to be.
Yes.
I think the message to viewers would be that not every great idea translates into a great business idea. And that if it's going to be business, you need to make sure it's going to be profitable. So you're running the business and doing your feasibility alongside. It should have been better to take your time, do the feasibility, research the industry, and like Mona keeps saying, be very clear about your value proposition. We've had challenges here trying to figure out what your value proposition is. In other words, what exactly is the key service that you're delivering to your customers, and knowing even who those customers are. So there's a lot going on here that we think you need to really sit down, and there's a lot of work you have to do to figure out exactly what you need to do to make this business profitable. And for viewers at home, if you have any challenges, or preferably before you start the business, if you need some guidance, please send us a video to our WhatsApp number 026-300-5055 so that we can give you guidance before you start and guide you as to what you need to look out for, market research and all that. So when you start right, and we ensure that the business idea becomes profitable. Guys, we need to give Esaba a truck. I know we think she needs 3 trucks, but we need to give her 1. So what do we think she needs? We have goals, we have know your customer. I see why, knowing the why for the business. I see structure, I see focus, I see vision. What does Esaba need? All of them?
She needs all.
I think
She
so
needs
too.
all.
But we have to give her 1. And since she wants to go into logistics and own tow trucks and all that.
I think we need to give Esaba the why, because I see Esaba doing 2 things. She wants to be a virtual service provider with the IT part, and at the same time she wants to get into the actual physical assets. So we need to tell Esaba, she should answer the question, why do I want to go into this business? And perhaps eventually give us the what. So let's start from
even the why even ties to profit, because she's lost the profit motive in all this. She's just enjoying doing it every day. But she's not a not-for-profit.
It's called frozen vision.
There's a name for it.
I would say focus.
You would say focus.
Yes.
But if she doesn't know the why, what is she focusing on? I think the why is the guiding, the North Star.
The principle.
Yeah. She needs to get her North Star right before we can tell her to focus in this direction or the other one. So please pass this on to Esaba. Esaba, we think you need to go back to the drawing board and figure out why you are doing this, Deliveries Ghana, and start writing all over again. And, sit down. And when you're doing that, you take into account everything we've told you. Your legal structure should support that and should be designed to manage the risk that you're carrying in the business. We haven't seen that. You were very smart in using insurance to manage those risks, but we think in this case, the risks are too many in the delivery industry, from lost packages to, you also need to limit the liability to yourself. So looking at a limited liability entity would be very helpful for you. And I think for me, fundamentally, you love to solve challenges. And so that drives you and you run into it. But you also need to understand that in providing that solution, it should be profitable. So that's where the market research and the homework comes in. So pull yourself back a bit, go sit back at the drawing table, and I think you're somebody that a partner would help to pull you back a bit so that you focus on the numbers and the profits and you don't just run on the fuel of passion. Parting words for Esaba?
Esaba, use the why to answer the question, about what you want to do. Is it a virtual business and therefore you don't get involved in the physical? Or do you want to get involved in logistics? Because no Uber employee of the Uber corporate comes to Ghana to do anything about what happens here. Everything in Ghana local is owned by local people. They are the virtual company. All they do is the IT of linking. They don't get involved here. You are here, you are here, you are everywhere. Where do you want to be? You know, so we've given you the why, but really come up with an action plan, which is totally missing.
Yes. And a business model that you can explain in a minute.
Okay. That vehicle we've given to you should be your buzzword. Place it in a strategic place in your office. As soon as you walk into your office, you see the why. And that why should be the question you ask yourself every time something comes up. Why? Because without the why, you can't answer the questions. In fact, this particular interview has taken me everywhere. It's taking me from when I started business to when I lost business to where I am today. And shows how confusing this thing can be if you don't ask the right questions. And don't stop to ask somebody who knows if there's a why that you can't answer.
Yeah.
Get people who can help you move the business forward, because as I said, it's possible. The only thing in this life is impossible if you put your mind to it and prioritize. Your other businesses that you're running, you've got to decide from this point on which ones would make profit. It's not a question of passion. Oh, people are not doing this, so I want to help out. No.
Okay.
You have to make money.
So viewers, that's been our show for today with Deliveries Ghana. And I think the essence of this show was really that before you run with the passion, you need to sit back and do enough research and structure the business in a way that ensures that the business would make profit. And do not be afraid to seek help. Do not be afraid to get guidance. This is Business Compass. We're the GPS for your business, and we're always here and willing to help you. So please send us a message. You can engage us on any of our social media handles, and we thank you for watching. My name is Charlotte Osei, and it's been my pleasure to be your host, and I've been in the studio with Mona Quartey and Kwame Jantuah. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Esaba, for coming, and see you all next week with a new episode.
I realized that there are a lot that has to be done in relation to the business I'm running. A lot of corrections must be done. A lot of structures must be put right if this business must get to where it has to get to. Passion is good, but passion, not only passion, will sustain a business. I recommend Business Compass to all startups and small businesses. It is indeed your GPS for your business.